What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Madden 19 put out its first patch today. Ironically enough, it took EA 3 attempts to get the link right on Twitter, but I digress. Key highlights are a new hit stick formula, less defensive knockouts versus possession catch, play action pass up rate, off-ball injury banners, general stability improvements, an adjustment to the big decision, and some user layouts. Here's what's interesting to me. I scanned through this whole list, and I'll put a link down in the description. I didn't see anything that really jumped out at me where I was like, you know what, that's a problem. Especially the off-ball injury stuff, because it's an off-ball injury. You don't know that the player got injured. You can't go back at the replay and connect it to anything real time. It's a randomized event. So it's odd that people would talk about having this issue. Now, some of the issues we have talked about, for example, the defensive back that kind of does that frustration animation when he doesn't get the interception and stands there while the player runs up the field. That's not mentioned here, presumably not fixed. The issue we talked about in depth, the one that caused Game On to stop carrying Madden, the error where the lineman or linebacker, whoever goes to pick up the ball, isn't actually in contact with it and shoots the ball off the end zone or out the sidelines. That's not mentioned here. Some of the other problems that we talk about, and again, you know, I don't always expect these things to be fixed in a patch, but these are new issues with Madden. Had the video a couple days ago where obviously the kick gets muffed and the player just stands there and doesn't know what to do. Why aren't these things getting fixed? As far as the pass blocking, you know, I think we've all seen by now that little issue where the center just continues to snap the ball over and over and over and over. That's not mentioned here either. And granted, for what it's worth, you know, I'm not the only one talking about those things. When I go back and look at my channel, I'm getting 50, 60, 70,000 views off those videos. I don't know anybody that's made a video about the injury issue of off-ball injuries. I don't know anyone that's made a video about defensive knockouts versus possession catches. I don't know anyone that's made a video about fixing an issue where play calling suggestions didn't load after exiting Super Sim. I mean, those are just really strange things, and I don't know exactly where that feedback's coming from, but I know collectively, in listening to what you guys have said in the comment section and reading the comments on Twitter, at looking at other people's videos, at looking people respond to mine, there's a lot of things that were broken in the game that aren't actually even brought up here. This is before we start to talk about zone coverage. Jay Devine did a great video on zone coverages. There's nothing mentioned about that. Sure, there's a bunch of player likenesses that are mentioned, and that's great if you're going to go in and update player faces or player equipment, but at the end of the day, you also have to make sure the players perform like the players on the field. It's not just enough that they look like them. I want them to act like them. And a lot of this isn't showing me something that's going to sustain itself of, okay, now Madden 19 is going to play better based on all these changes. And another point somebody brought up, what if you didn't have internet? I know that seems like a far-gone conclusion, but what if you didn't? What if you couldn't update your game? Is it really fair that you get a game, and this is any game, not specifically Madden, is it really fair that you get a game that's this unfinished, that week after release, we're looking at maybe 50 things that have to be modified, changed, upgraded, or included in a game? It just seems like a little bit much for me. But again, I don't see how this is actually going to fix my game or make my game play better, because a lot of the key issues I've had aren't even addressed here. And that's really the thing that stuck out to me the most. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking out. I'll be back very shortly with more commentary.